Sunday match is on the road again. We're at the impressive New Den, where Millwall follow their best result of the season with another very severe examination. Hello, good afternoon to you all. Well, it's been heavy going for Mick McCarthy's side so far, but of course Millwall reached the playoffs last season. They got plenty of time to pull things round. Today's visitors, the pre-season favourites Wolves, and Graham Taylor's team having a bit of a rough ride at the moment. They've been beaten 3 times in the last 4 league games. McCarthy, though, boosted by the best result of his managerial career, the biggest upset in the 4th round of the Coca-Cola Cup. The Lions chewed up Premiership Nottingham Forest at the City Ground. Greg Berry in at the sharp end twice. Wolves know Middlesbrough are pulling away. Heads will roll if the slump continues. Another Derby-style defeat just won't do. Well, with me today, a man who kept them out for Millwall for 7 years. A great character. He was the Lion King in the late 60s and early 70s.
Bridges over his own head towards Beamish. That looked like a push in the back on Beamish. Oh, and a tremendous shot and a fantastic save by King.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Brian King. Brian, the haircut might have changed a bit. Terrific saves there. That must bring back a few memories. But I know it's your first visit to the New Den here. What's your impression on how it compares with the old place?
Well, it certainly is a very, very impressive stadium, and I must say that I think the old Den was the place to frighten people away a little bit, especially sides that we used to play. I know, I can remember talking to Gordon Banks once, and he said that half of their team was scared just coming from the bus to the dressing room.
Right. I know there's a feeling here, though, that this new place, and it's terrific, and we can't knock it in any way, doesn't really help the team, because the old gaff might have been worth the point at the very least to them every game.
Yeah, that's right, Jim. When I actually look at the stadium here, it is, obviously, everything's geared for the year 2000 and the future and whatever. But I don't know, whether it has that atmosphere, I don't know. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing the game here, that's for sure.
Sure, and we're looking forward to hearing more from Brian King later in the afternoon. Let's have a word, though, now, shall we, with Mick McCarthy, the Lions manager. How important is it for his team to build on that great result at the City Ground?
Well, I said to them yesterday that if we don't win today, then that performance is out the window, because we need points in the league, nothing less. With 2 home games, we need 6 points out of them.
Can you still look at the table and think in terms of the playoffs? Or are you looking towards the other end? You spent obviously quite a lot of the season down at the wrong end.
Yeah, 2 or 3 games ago I was saying, look, we're only 5-6 points out of the playoff spots. I think we're 9-10 points out of it. A good run could see you get up there and at least threaten it and make it a better season for us. And that's what we want to do. We want to get out of 4th bottom. That's the first thing.
Mick McCarthy with Gabriel Clark, who'll be keeping his eye on things round about the dressing room area. Coming up later in the afternoon, we've got a competition, plus all the Ensley goals, including the 9 I saw at Kenilworth Road, Luton yesterday. But next, it's the match. It's Millwall against the Wolves.
Yes! Whoopee! It's a boy! It's a boy! Let's go out and buy him a train set, eh?
Yellow Pages, supporters of the Sunday match.
Have you ever wondered how the little widget thing in new John Smith's draft actually works? Then you're very sad.
This is my family. My mum, my dad, my little sister. This is my room. This is our Macintosh. This is stuff for school. This is stuff for dinner. My dad's stuff. My mum's stuff. This is my jet. My encyclopedia.
This Christmas, it's easy to please all the family. Performer, the family Macintosh.
We even have our own golf course.
Until now, lighted watches used to be dull. Come out of the dark age. Indiglo Nightlight by Timex.
I think there's a almost primeval thing in us, a desire to travel, to see different things, to see different cultures. We were the first organisation to publish discounted airfares. We have had our imitators. They can copy the idea, but not the philosophy behind it. Trailfinders has its roots in overland and the more adventurous side, but for some people it's simply exploring a quiet 2 weeks on the beach. Travel brings a sense of the unknown as to what they're going to find at the other end. Coming home is the final pleasure that travelling gives you. My American Express card has travelled with me for over 20 years. They have a very mature global network. If you've got your passport, you've got your American Express card. If you've forgotten to pack your underpants, this is not going to be a huge problem.
American Express is welcomed at Trailfinders and at good lingerie shops around the world.
They're here. Hey, ragazzo, come Gambini. First, a little breakfast, huh? Hey, these are delicious flakes with honey, nuts, and a brown sugar. Bellissimo. That's your last bowl for a while, Gambini. Go, go, go!
Kellogg's Crunchy Nut Cornflakes. Trouble is, they taste too good.
I'm eating it. It started resting.
All right, baby.
Experience the extreme.
Hang on, you've smudged your lipstick. Here you are. Ooh, that cherry blush, that's more your shade. There you go. Do you want your ears piercing too?
Ooh,
good idea.
Yellow Pages, supporters of the Sunday match.
Hello once again from the New Den. We're all set to go with Millwall against Wolves. It's a nice dry day here at the moment. There's a heck of a lot of wind around, I can tell you, and that I'm sure won't be appreciated by the players. Your big match commentators this afternoon, David Pleat, the Luton Town manager, who I dare say didn't quite enjoy the match as much as I did at Kenilworth Road yesterday. And alongside him, let's say a very good afternoon to Brian Moore.
Thanks very much, Jim, and good afternoon to you and to everybody else. Yeah, David's just said to me, I've got to try and calm down a bit today after yesterday with those 9 goals at Kenilworth. Here's the teams. Millwall looking to consolidate after that fine victory at Nottingham on Wednesday. Ian Dawes, usually left back, comes into the right side of midfield. That's to strengthen the whole look of the side, apparently. Tony Witter's on loan from QPR. Millwall would like to make that permanent. And up front, Greg Berry, scorer of 2 against Forest, and Dave Mitchell, our combination manager Mick McCarthy is happy to stick with. Well, it was Greg Berry's first start of the season at Forest. His goals, though, have truly given a fresh impetus to this Lions season. While the Wolves, meanwhile, have injury problems. Fullback Thompson and midfielder Birch are out. Tom Bennett comes in for his first league game of the season. Neil Emblin, last season a Millwall youngster, comes into the midfield. And good news for Wolves, Steve Bull returns to the attack after missing the last 4 games. Bull, in fact, now celebrating 8 years as a Wolves player, their record goal scorer. His return couldn't be better timed, says manager Graham Taylor. Just to check on the subs, Richard Cadets and Dave Savage for Millwall, and Mark Rankin and Lee Mills for Wolves, plus the 2 substitute goalkeepers as well. The referee, Ian Hemley, who comes from Amt Hill in Bedfordshire. David Pleat, are we going to get as many goals as you saw yesterday?
Well, I think we'll be tremendously fortunate, Brian, if we do, but let us hope that it's a good game. Obviously, Millwall feel they need the points. Wolves, for other reasons, feel they do. I mean, both have marvellous all-seater stadiums, but the difference between the 2 teams is that Millwall have to be forced from time to time to sell to cover costs, whereas Wolves can resist that fact, and they're not forced to sell to cover costs.
I mean, Wolves, they're amongst the pacemakers, but people in the game saying they really aren't playing all that well. And in fact, you had a victory up there at Molineux yourself, didn't you, with Luton?
Well, and just before we went there, Millwall happened to score some goals there also in the league. This, of course, being a reverse fixture of a few weeks ago, is somewhat unusual to be playing the same opposition twice within a month.
Who to look out for in particular? There's Casey Keller, who's been busy already this week doing some of the Saints soccer skills for the youngsters in our region. Let's hope his skills keep Wolverhampton Wanderers at bay today. Breezy but a very mild afternoon here in South London. And the pitch, I must say, looking in very, very good shape indeed. So Wolves looking for a place. In fact, it's only one place at the top of the First Division of the NZD going into the Premiership. Millwall looking to improve their prospects, hovering far too close to that relegation area. The Wolves who will kick off. A week that really could be a turning point in Millwall's fortunes this season after that victory at Nottingham Forest. Now looking to add this one against the pacemakers Wolves. That's Casey Keller, the ball shepherded back to him by Tony Ritter. Up towards Dave Mitchell, but he's beaten in the air by Blades. There's a chance on now with Kelly trying to bring Bull into the game, and wide of the Millwall goal.
Unselfish of Kelly that. He felt that it wasn't just dropping kindly enough for him. He saw Bull coming up on the inside right channel, and he took the ball lovely in the first place, just got a stride in front, then realised there was good covering by Thatcher, and when he squared the ball across, Bull hit that really full of confidence.
Goes Thomas, battling there with the Millwall number 8, Alex Ray. Beard playing it wide. And Dawes over on that right flank. Curious decision having Dawes on that right flank for so many seasons at QPR and here a left back, David.
Yes, a very fine left back, but predominantly a right-footed left back, and he was very good at playing the ball inside and finding his front players with clever right-footed constructed passes. Now, they've made a change today. It'll be interesting to see how Wolves cope with it, because we think that Froggatt's going to play kind of a left midfield, wide left, all up and down that left flank, and it'll be interesting to see how he copes with that one.
Blades hesitating for a moment, and in the end it was Mark Venus who got it back to goalkeeper Mike Stowell. First blood already to Millwall today. The two clubs have met in the FA Women's Cup up at Willen Hall up in the Midlands. Wolves 0, Millwall Lionesses 2, with Julie Fletcher and Michelle Rayner the scorers. So well done you Millwall ladies, victors in your cup tie against Wolves. Darren Ferguson just knocking the ball through to Neil Emblem. A few Millwall fans giving him a boo. It was a remarkable short career he had here. He arrived at Sittingbourne and in a matter of months had been sold on for something like £600,000 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. The Wolves number 7, there's Greg Bennett.
I saw his old manager in the crowd earlier on, John Ryan, sitting down in the director's box, who was the manager of Sittingbourne, and he assured several managers that Emblem had it within himself to go on and really do well. Millwall took the chance, and my word, they did well out of it.
I think it was extraordinary, the Millwall number 7, the Wolves number 7, Neil Emblem, who in fact only played something like a dozen games here coming out of the non-league, and then suddenly finding himself the subject of a big transfer to a big club. And here he is on the ball now. Thatcher was in quickly as well, but there was a foul on Emblem and a free kick to Wolverhampton Wanderers. So Emblem stays up, being watched by Thatcher, and Thatcher read that well, but goes for a throw to Wolverhampton Wanderers. The sides have already met this season, as David was saying, at Molyneux. It finished in a 3-3 draw. For a long time then it looked as though Wolves were home and dry. It was a terrific late rally from Millwall that provided them with a point. So here's Dawes, hitting it long towards Mitchell. Froggatt getting it clear. Ritter for Millwall, and again with a header. Kennedy, young Irishman. Now Ben Thatcher. Playing it in there, playing it in well. And the shot by Kennedy on the turn, clearing the Wolves crossbar with plenty to spare.
I was a little bit disappointed with that effort. It was a good ball played in, or when Kennedy made the first touch, Roberts was following up. He could have knocked that ball, playing the way he was facing, and Roberts had a chance of a good shooting opportunity. He ignored him and decided to take the ball on the half turn. Far more difficult opportunity.
Kelly with a header. Thatcher seems to be in the thick of it in these early stages. Mitchell knocking it down for Dawes. Played back this time for Beard. Several Millwall youngsters getting first team opportunities, and Mark Beard, the number 2, is one of them. He's 20 years old, gets his chance, of course, with Kenny Cunningham having been sold to Wimbledon. Witter. Froggatt. That was an excellent clearance. But here come Millwall again. Here's Kennedy. Played through again. Alex Ray trying so hard to find a way through again to Kennedy. There was a foul and a free kick to Wolves. Ferguson. It's a good break by him. And a good challenge by Andy Roberts. Little touch back by Kennedy for Roberts. Oh, Ray in a bit of trouble there, but there was again an infringement of foul. And Millwall benefit with a free kick.
It is fascinating, Brian, to see this Wolves lineup. In essence, there's not a left back playing in the Wolves side. Froggatt is going to work up and down that side. The two centre backs are Venus and Blades, and Tom Bennett is sitting just in front of them. So really, they haven't got a recognised left back. Froggatt's going to work all the left side.
Well, Millwall get a corner. The persistence of Kennedy against the number 2, Jamie Smith. So Berry in there. Keith Stevens has come up as well. And there is Stevens. A save by Stow. That nearly fell for Millwall there. His goals are few and far between. Keith Stevens, such a long-standing servant here, but got hold of that one, and a good claw back by Mike Stow. Thatcher with a header. Roberts, nice little touch. Kennedy. Thomas to Froggatt. Stopped by Beard. Mark Venus, number 6. Up towards Bull. Bull's header. Kelly as well. Emblem trying to get in. Knocks it wide for Froggatt. Bull. Oh. Thatcher in the end getting it clear. But Wolves at this point looking quite menacing. Ferguson. Foul on him, a free kick to Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Tom Bennett looks as though he's going to get a little bit of freedom in front of the two Wolves centre-backs. He's passed the ball well so far, and it's going to be difficult for Millwall to get to him. If they work hard to make angles at the back, he's going to have some freedom to spray the ball around.
Mark Venus taking the free kick for Wolves. Darren Ferguson just ahead of him. And pushed away by Casey Keller, knocked back in again and pushed away again by Keller. The shot from Emblem, the second one, 2 good pieces of work there by Casey Keller. Wolves planting it forward again. It's Thatcher. Hustling, looked like two handballs there. One by Thatcher in the first place, one by Ferguson. Ferguson, I think, a little unlucky there, because I'm not at all sure it wasn't a handball by the Millwall player first. But at any rate, it's Beard now for Millwall to Dawes. Roberts playing it in. Alex Ray. Ian Dawes again. Ray knocking it in. Roberts trying to keep it moving. Roberts. Roberts again. Towards Berry. Might come for Kennedy. Thatcher. And again. Playing it for Kennedy. Still with Thatcher. That's a good cross. He's heaved in there. And off the crossbar from Dave Mitchell's header.
A fine movement there by Mitchell. You see him just take Venus in there and hit that ball against the bar. Really sharp movement when he realised the player on the left was winding up for a cross.
Meanwhile, at the other end, Keller was called to make two excellent saves. That one from the free kick and that one from Emblem. Finally cleared by Keith Stevens. Witter getting it clear. Tony Witter has done really well while he's been on loan from Queen's Park Rangers, the Millwall number 5. And Millwall's manager Mick McCarthy would like to make this a permanent deal. I think there's probably a fair bit of cash negotiating to be done before that becomes a reality. But he's really strengthened that back four alongside the number 6 Keith Stevens.
He's a very quick player, a very strong player, possibly one of the fastest at QPR, and he's never really had many first-team opportunities, so this could be a good little background for him to begin a career.
Alex Ray, the injured player. But a lot of good movement so far in this game, David.
An outstanding first 11 or 12 minutes there. You see there he'd gone for the ball first, there's no doubt about that, Bennett. There's been an outstanding 10 or 11 minutes. Both goalkeepers will be delighted that they've had early touches of the ball and influential touches of the ball. I was speaking to Ian Hemley, the referee, before the game, and I asked him what he thought of the quality of the play this season. And he was saying that he thought it had been very good in the games he'd refereed, and certainly the new laws, the offside law that is, has stretched the game, and there's been more good open football and less offside decisions which irritate the crowds. And you've seen you couldn't have had a better 12 or so minutes opening here, both sides attacking well.
We hope you're enjoying it at home. It's still 0-0 here between Millwall and Wolves. There's the Millwall managerial partnership with McCarthy and Ian Evans. Beard with the throw for Millwall. Alex Ray on his feet again. Here's Witter. Venus gets it clear. David Kelly, who took a really nasty smack in the face against Derby last week. He's still, the left eye is still blackened somewhat. Battling, but didn't quite get hold of that one. Keith Stevens was supporting him well just behind. Blades with the header. Bennett. Touch forward to Emblem. Finding Froggatt. Beard did well.
That's where Froggatt's dangerous. He's got one or two tricks up his sleeve, and he's very good at delivering the ball beyond the right back's right shoulder.
Corner came off Tony Witter. Darren Ferguson will take it. Paul Blades is coming forward. I suppose there's going to be a lot of competition for those central defensive places now in Wolverhampton Wanderers side, with John de Wolf of Feyenoord likely to sign early next week. Coming across on Monday, I gather, for a medical, as is Don Goodman, the Sunderland striker, also having a medical at Wolves on Monday. Away by Venus. Witter didn't get hold of that one, but Keller did. And a good throw out releasing Thatcher. 19 last week, Ben Thatcher, and a lot of the big clubs are watching him. Mitchell finds Kennedy. Plenty watching him as well. Blades. Up goes Bennett, rather Berry. And an offside flag against Kennedy and a free kick to Wolves.
I think the two youngsters on this side, Thatcher and Kennedy, have done very, very well this season. They've had to play consistently because of injuries, and I'm sure Mick McCarthy from time to time would like to have rested them. On the other side of the field today, he's left Savage out, who's been a fairly regular player down the right flank. And strangely enough, it'll be interesting to see if Mick McCarthy's tempted to put him on early, with Wolves tactically playing as they are, with Froggatt keeping that left side, and no orthodox left back in the Wolves side.
Thomas. Now Froggatt. Being played in by Jeff Thomas. There's his cross. Witter just keeping it away. And the shot by Jamie Smith. Well, it has caused problems. Then a linesman had a flag up on the far side. The keeper impeded, presumably.
Well, I don't know if Keller lost concentration there just a little bit. He's got away with it. Linesman certainly did have his flag up, but it was a high swirling ball that Jamie Smith put in. It was one of those strange balls where made one think twice possibly about, is the ball still in play, is the ball gone? And I didn't know if there was an offside for sure, but look at that flag. Look at that flag. There it goes up.
Yeah, it's been going up there, yes. Beard hitting it forward. Mitchell chasing. He just held him up there, did Blades. Ferguson. Another free kick to Wolves. Millwall fans on their feet think that was unjust, but
nice to see both sides taking quick free kicks. I like that.
Froggatt hitting it long towards Steve Bull. Up goes Stevens. Ray nodding it wide for Thatcher. They're getting it clear for Millwall. This is a good game. Bennett hitting it forward again. Emblem chasing. And it'll be a goal kick.
Amazing how cruel some of the fans can be. There's young Emblem, came from Sittingbourne for a song, sold for a 4.